ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। Last Sunday we had children's program and about 10 children came to the podium and shared their views about Vaisakhi, which really covered almost all aspects of it, and all of us, we enjoyed what they shared with us. So, not to go in too much of what has already been presented, I'd like to share few distinct aspects as we celebrate Vaisakhi. Vaisakhi throughout the United States, and I've recently read about it, throughout in the USA, April has been designated Sikh Awareness Month, Sikh Dharm di Jankari. Now, how do you condense or compress a history of Sikh faith which evolved over 200 years during the lives of the 10 gurus? However, there are few distinct milestones which we should look at. Why coming here in the month of Vaisakhi, which is April, we get together and celebrate? Number one is the foundation of the Sikh faith. Guru Nanak ne Sikhi da boota laya si. Even though we celebrate Guru Nanak's birthday typically in the month of November, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was actually born in the month of Vaisakhi on April 15, 1469. Another thing to remember about Vaisakhi. The second milestone, I'm trying to make it as brief as possible, was the completion and compilation of Sikh scripture, Sri Guru Granth Sahib, which was a monumental task, a book of hymns poetically put together, 6,000 number, 1,413 pages, 30 pages. It was done by the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji was also born in the month of Vaisakhi, and coincidentally, or very interestingly, on April 15th, 1563. Third milestone was what we heard last week from the children, and today, just now, from Preet Badman, was the creation of Khalsa discipline by the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. typically celebrated all over the world and always in Vaisakhi, which is April 13th and 14th of every year. Now we come back to, since the focus is on Khalsa, there are two distinct aspects of Khalsa. Excuse me. Guru Gobind Singh Ji described Khalsa as Sant Sipahi, saint soldier. Not an easy job to handle. And this was consistent with the philosophy that the sixth Guru Hargobind put it in place. He said, there are two aspects of Sikh beliefs, Miri and Piri. Miri is a temporal power, worldly power, dunyavi taqat. Piri is a spiritual power, Rabbi gun. The ultimate challenge of a Khalsa is the requirement of life of and requiring balance of Miri and Piri. Guru Hargobind Ji, to make it so subtle and simple, he started wearing two swords. Sword is a reflection of strength. Miri is to live with courage a worldly life. Piri, another sword, which to live a moral life. Piri, moral life devoted to Lord and being guided by the teachings of the Gurus. After the Aarti was done, the whole Sangat moved out and there was an installation of Nishan Sahib. And if you paid attention to it, on the top of it was a flag. And that flag had two swords, Miri and Piri. It's a reminder to us as we live a worldly life, equally important is to be directed by a spiritual guidance. We have heard shabads and speeches, and it says, Raj Karega Khalsa. Again, come back to the two aspects, Miri and Piri. Miri is a worldly kingdom. Piri is a spiritual kingdom. The slogan Raj Karega Khalsa was developed by Banda Singh when he was fighting against the injustice of the ruling powers in the defense of people who were being oppressed. And that's when he said, we will control, we will conquer you. राज करेगा खालसा. And this is what really led ultimately a Sikh kingdom in Punjab all the way from Delhi to the borders of Afghanistan for 40 years during Maharaja Ranjit Singh's time. But let's go to the other Raj. This was Bedi, that's a Piri. Piri is when you fight, the aim is to conquer, to control. And the Piri aspect is to conquer the mind, to bring it under control, so that mind doesn't direct us, we direct the mind. What is Khalsa according to Gurbani? Saint Kabir's verse in Gurbani is Kaho Kabir Jan Paye Khalsa. Kabir ji कहते ने खालसा कौन है? खालसा कौन है? प्रेम Bhagat Je Jani, the one who's connected, devoted to God and living a life of godliness. श्री रागज गुरु नानक देव जी शब्द ने जिनके चोले रतड़े प्यारे कंतिना के पास ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਅੰਦਰ ਹੈ. So the ultimate message or the teaching is symbolically Miri Piri is a life of Sant Sipahi. And according to Gurus, for Khalsa, it means जो लड़े दीन के हेत सूरा सोई. Two functions: fight against the justice, to have your own freedom, but more importantly, fight against injustice to protect others to have the freedom of their life, to live their life. And there is a most apt and probably one of the most beautiful example of the Sikh Gurus, where you come forward and offer the sacrifice and your own life to protect the rights of others. And what I'm talking about is martyrdom or Shahidi of the 9th Guru Tegh Bahadur. He sacrificed himself to protect the rights and the freedom of the Kashmiri Brahmins so that they could wear their sacred thread and the mark on the forehead. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji, in his own autobiography, beautifully says that Tilik Janju Rakha Praptaka. Guru Tegh Bahadur was inspired to sacrifice his life to protect the rights of others. There couldn't be a more profound example of Sant Sipahi, Miri Piri put together. Vaisakhi ka Khalsa.